Here at The Rock, Jackson Kennedy, Dima, Mixon here with the Student Media Center with 4th Street Sports. Just got done watching day 14 of fall camp. Southern Miss took the field and practice field. There's about 200 fans or so watching the practice, 250, something like that. Good number here. Wasn't more than I expected. Jackson, we just watched it from about 7:15 to now, which is about 10:30. So around good 2.5-3 hours of good football practice. We want to talk about the main takeaways, or the number one thing we saw that we just wanted to note. We're going to have 2 other videos. You can go check them out on this YouTube page. One will talk about the quarterbacks, and the other will talk about the defense. Jackson, what is the number one thing you saw today that you think everybody should know?
The number one thing that I saw today that I think everybody should know is this offense is going to be nothing like last year's offense. Being in year 3 and having an offensive line, having a group of quarterbacks, having a group of running backs, and especially a group of wide receivers that are capable and that are deep enough to sustain injuries, that are able to sustain, just kind of getting tired throughout. We are finally going to be able to see Will Hall's offensive scheme. And he said he ran it pretty vanilla today because, there were a lot of phones, a lot of cameras during practice today, so we didn't want to give away too many crazy things that he wanted to try. But Will Hall's offensive scheme looks very imposing because against this defense, which hasn't changed too terribly much except for in the backfield compared to last year, they were doing far better than they were even in practices last year, and it's really something to behold. The running back room is stacked. If you just want to talk about Frank Gore Jr., you can, because he's a 4-down back. He's incredible NFL prospect. Everything you want to say about him in terms of positive news, it's true. But then you also have Dreek Clark, who he was able to run through some D linemen. He was able to find holes. He was able to make people miss, able to run over people. Kenyon Clay, I just told him as he walked by, if I was a D lineman, I would stand back because he was able to run through some of the D line. And Tavius Willis has had probably like the best fall camp out of all of the running backs, in my opinion, because he has been able to return, like in the last scrimmage last Saturday, he returned a kickoff in the end zone for a touchdown. And every single time that he's been part of the kickoff game, he's been incredible. Whenever you hand the ball to him, whenever you pass the ball to him, he's open. He's able to grab those. And even people that won't be playing this year, like J.Q. Gray, we may not see him a lot, but you will know his name in 2-3 years' time. This offense, and that was just the running backs. Everybody else is incredible. I've been thoroughly impressed with the offense. I was talking with Blake and Lee Roberts. Lee Roberts, a great Southern Miss quarterback, and we were just kind of talking about how there are so many wide receivers that could be starting, and there are so many impressive ones. So I think biggest takeaway is this offense is going to look different. It's going to be more impressive and a lot more entertaining for the Golden Eagle faithful to watch.
Yeah, I was like, Jackson, you're naming like 100 things. And I was like, what's your biggest takeaway? No, I'm kidding. But offense for him, to me, it's the running back room. Will Hall said it in the post-game press conference. You can go watch on this YouTube channel. Frank Gore Jr. wasn't playing today for the most part. He hasn't been playing in most of these scrimmages, and that's because, you know what you have there. You're not wanting to see – you don't want to get him injured. So Kenyon Clay kind of was taking Frank Gore Jr. reps. He gets hit, a big hit, kind of dings up his ankle a little bit. He goes out, right? And then Chandler Pittman fills in for him. He gets kind of shaken up a little bit in his ankle. He goes out. And then Tavius Willis comes in and looks incredible. And I think it's just a testament to how deep this running back room is. You're talking about taking 3 guys from the depth chart off the field. I mean, you got Frank Gore Jr., Chandler Pittman, and Kenyon Clay all out. 3 guys. And then you have another guy coming in, and Tavius Willis, and he's looking just as good as all of them. So I think, to me, the biggest takeaway was, man, just the depth they have. When you see it in that way, it's a whole new light, because you can hear Coach Hall, Will Hall, talking about depth. But when you see it that way, when you see one running back out just because they don't want to injure him, the other 2 kind of banged up, and a 4th running back comes in and looks just as good. And like you said, J.Q. Gray looks good. Drake Clark looks good. For me, it was the running back room. I thought it excelled today. The offensive line was giving them good holes. So that is my biggest takeaway. And I think it's a testament to, like Jackson was saying, since they now have someone who can facilitate the run game, like not having your quarterback be the running back as well, it opens up the entire offensive playbook. It really does. They were doing so many things today that even in a vanilla type offense, they weren't able to do in the past couple of years. So I think that's very encouraging for Southern Miss fans to know that when they talk about depth, they mean it. Like this is for real. They got depth in all these positions. And like Jackson was saying, it's not just the running back room. It's also the wide receiver room. It's also the quarterback room. It's also the offensive line. Like this is just something that they haven't been able to have over the past couple of years, and now that they have it, it makes a difference. And you see the difference when you have people in the top of the line depth chart going out, and the fourth and fifth guy coming in, playing against the ones, looking just as good.
Yeah, no, just a complete testament to that. And what's so impressive about this depth, it's not just they're deep at being a running back. Will Hall said it many times, and it's not just coach speak. Every single one of these running backs are dynamic players. Every single one of these running backs caught at least one pass today. J.Q. Gray, he lined up wide, ran first play of a drive that Jake Lang was at quarterback in. First play of the drive, 70-yard touchdown. He beat out his DB, and J.Q. Gray, if you haven't seen him, he's a smaller guy, skinny, but as Will Hall has said, he's a bottle rocket. As soon as he gets where he wants, he shoots. He is gone. It is almost impossible to catch him. And then, Kenyon Clay catching screen passes and running through anyone in his way. Yeah. It's really, really impressive to see, because you need somebody like the Avatar, like Dylan Lawrence, taking down people like Kenyon Clay. And it's very impressive to see. So those have been our takeaways. Make sure to catch our other 2 videos.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Catch our other 2 videos. We'll be back on those other 2 videos, but we'll also have more of this. You can go check out 4th Street Sports Show on anywhere you get your podcast. You'll have more of this talking about fall camp today. Also, go check the site, sm2media.com, where you can find all of our sports stories there.